Hi everyone, this is Melissa with The Creative Season. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and we are going to look at some quote art today. So usually I'm painting along with you or you're painting along with me. Today I've got the basic painting out because I wanted to show you the process of this really fun way of creating art that's encouraging and that it's fun. Anyone can do it, and I just think it's really been a way that I have encouraged myself, encouraged others, as well as create a lot of just fun, simple art. So we're letting this very simple image paint dry. It's just about done. So I painted a simple tree. I have a hill. I've got a winding path. But the whole idea behind quote art is to combine both the fun and the joy and the relaxation of painting and creating simple art with words that inspire, encourage, and uplift us. So I'm going to show you just a few of what I have been working on. And I love this. If you follow me at all, like on Instagram, you'll know I really love this quote, "Don't dig up and doubt what you planted in faith," by Elizabeth Elliot. It really is one of my life quotes of just sticking with things and persevering. I recently did another image with the same quote in a different style, and I'll pull that one out and show that to you as well. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. And so with this one, you can see, I'll bring the tree. This is, I love to do trees, and I just repeated the quote all the way down. I don't have super fancy handwriting. It's a little bit messy. I don't let that bother me. And so again, we have a quote. I also wrote it in a white gel pen up on the side of the tree. So if you would like to create some lovely quote art, it's very, very simple. I would really encourage you to think of things that you really love to paint that are fairly easy. So for me, that's going to be a lot of trees. It might be like here, I love to paint bouquets of flowers. I love to paint books, so stacks of books with favorite quotes. This is a quote by Jane Austen. Nobody wants to stay in cold water all their life, and I just did a stack of books with her titles on there. So again, very simple. The other thing to keep in mind when you are doing this is that you want to leave ample space for your quotes. So we have a simple image, something that's fun for you. Maybe you like to draw cats, maybe it's sunsets or sunrises or ocean scenes, but something where there's space to do the quote. Then I just do my initial image. I've decided on the quote that I want, and then I'll go ahead and think, okay, do I want to do a big quote? Like, for example, do I want to do a quote that takes up the majority of the page? Or do I want to do something where I'm repeating the quote in lots of little words? Different look for each one. You can kind of play around with it and see what you like. So normally what I do is I go in here. As you can see, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done in this painting. It's pretty loose. I always like to go in and do just a little bit of just doing some fine tuning. I've got my micron pen here. This is an 8. And I'll go around here. Maybe I'll emphasize the flowers a little bit more. I like to, if possible, think of quotes with some impact to them, especially right now. So right now it is the end of May. We're still kind of somewhat in shelter in place. In California, a lot of things have not opened up yet. And it's easy to get discouraged or to get overwhelmed. And one of the things I do is just kind of saturate myself in words of wisdom from people who've gone before us and gone through hard times, of keeping my focus on the things that I do have control over, staying connected to people. And making this quote art has just been a really fun way for me to relax, as well as think of a way too that who could I send this out to, who might need some extra encouragement. So again, I'm not doing a lot of detail because a lot of the detail is going to be with the quote. So as I was thinking about this, of how I wanted to do it, what I thought I would do is I'm going to use a J.R.R. Tolkien quote. One of the things when you consider quotes is if you have someone you really love, like I do love J.R.R. Tolkien, I love his quotes, you want a quote that's not too long. It's fairly succinct. So I was looking at a couple of his quotes, and I decided on, I really love the all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us, but that's a bit long. So instead, what I'm going to be doing is I am putting on the not all those who wander are lost. And so I've created that path. And so what I thought I would do for fun is I'm just going to write on the path, not all those who wander. And really, because I'm doing a short quote, right? I could have done a longer quote, but I really enjoy repetition. And so what I'm doing today And all those, and I'm gonna just kind of leave it there, and I'll put over here who, and then get it really small, and as small as I can write it, are lost. And then I'm gonna come back over here, and I'm gonna come back over here on the, not, and I'm just adding in the quote, not all those who wander. And I really love this right now because I think it's so easy when you're not quite sure of the way to go, or you're maybe in a time of transition, to feel like you're lost, but knowing by doing the right things, doing what we know to do with the resources that we have, that's all we can do. So loving people, praying, loving the Lord, seeking to really not complain, put on the right characteristics, staying in touch with people, not isolating, feeding my heart and mind with good things. So those are all the things that I can do where this time of feeling like that we're wandering, but that doesn't mean that we're lost. So now I think too, I really want to continue to write that down. Not all who wander are lost. And then I'm going to add another quote. Little by little, one travels far. And that's another one of his short quotes, which I really, really love. Now I'm going to take my white pen here. I've got this white gel pen, and I'm going to go over on the tree here, and maybe we'll do just a little bit more of, okay. And I'm going to put up here, little by little, one try, and I'll just put right up. You can't see it too well, but that's okay. It's just giving an emphasis for it, right? We're just kind of showing, and I'll get up another one. Not all. And you could do this in really big words, so I could have taken up the whole area and made it super big this morning. I decided to go just a little bit smaller. Now that I've added in my words, I've added in a bit of detail, I think now what I want to do is I want to add just a little bit more color. So I kind of look around, because once I add paint to this, right, we can't add the micron pen anymore. Otherwise you put the wet pen on and it will, yeah, that'll be the end of that. So I think too what I want to do maybe is up in the sky. Let's see here, because I need to kind of come in with my tree. It was kind of blending with the sky earlier. So we're just going to put a little bit more of the micron pen. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to put over here. Do I want to put one maybe inside the tree? I always like, I'll just put right out here. Not all who wander. Okay. And then what I'm going to come back and do now is I'm going to come back and I'm going to add a little bit of blue to my green. That way I'm keeping the same colors, and I'm going to come back in and just do some extra shading here. So I'll start adding some more of the detail, which I really think really kind of gives the work a nice finish. I'm going to actually jump to a little bit of a different brush. I'm going to use a 12 round, so it's a little bit bigger. I can get everything a little bit more paint in there, and it'll spread around a little bit more. So again, where I'm thinking the shadows might be on the trees, and then a little bit over here. I'll come back in with that lighter green too. That way we blend that in a bit more. Kind of start to see a little bit more depth on the trees. And then too, what I'll put down here before I add, I'm going to put I'll put favorite quotes by J.R.R. Tolkien. There. Okay. So then too, I want to add maybe just a little bit of a shadow on the hill, just a little bit more right in here. And again, adding a little bit more depth. Right here, I had forgotten to add in that green, that grass where the path is winding. If you want to add a little bit more detail around the path. In here, over here, right down here. Of course, it will fade or smudge in the ink a little bit, but that's okay. I think that adds to the beauty of the painting. making sure too that creating that depth, so in the forefront it's darker than in the back. And I'm just going to take a little bit more of my orange and adding it to these flowers. This is actually, I think this is gamboge is what this is, which is just really fun. It's almost like a cadmium yellow light with a little bit more orange in it. And I do have a little bit of the cadmium red, and so over here, just a bit more color. And we kind of see how we have very much a completed more of a completed painting look right now. Put some more dots back here. I love a field of flowers. Okay, so there we go. And there we have our lovely painting. We have our quote art. This is more subtle quote art. Those are my notes over there, those other quotes. And you know, you could, even if you wanted, here's another idea. This was Courage, Dear Heart, which is something that C.S. Lewis said. This is a complete focus on words, and then you elements like splatter art to create really a pop of color. So if you really love words a lot, you might want to do where you're just putting on blocks of color and using big handwriting to write out your quote with paint, and then doing detail with the micron pen around it. Another one that I did with the bouquet of flowers, I was really considering the words of Jesus in Matthew 5 where he says, consider the lilies, and they are not anxious for anything. And so of course these are tulips, but the verse says lilies, so I put consider the lilies, and was just writing out some prayers about what Jesus said about not worrying, about not being anxious. And so that is another way. Again, I just took a blend of micron and paint, and over here I had taken the micron pen first and then put my paint over it. So there's lots of different ways you can do that. Again, it's just fun. It's relaxing. I've really had a fun time with it. If you have high schoolers perhaps, or you are in high school, you're working on quotes or literature that you are studying, it's a fun way to reinforce quotes or your favorite books, is to commemorate a quote in a piece of quote art. And what a fun way to just put that in your scrapbook, put that in your journal, your memories that you're making. All right, you guys, this has been a super short video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I am excited to be with you some more this summer. I've got some fun things planned. If there's anything that you would like to see, please let me know. If you like this video, please give it a like, and I will talk to you soon. All right, you guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.